there's new talking about Dr. Disrespect. Now we're behind the times almost until new news comes out. The Kris from Mr. Beast news. That's the new hot stuff, the new pedo story. You guys up on this one?
Oh yeah, man.
I'm totally shocked.
I tried. Again, I do have an Elden Ring addiction right now. But Ava, Kris something. What's the last name? Can I have a hint?
Kris Tyson. Yeah.
Tyson. Yeah, has allegedly been. Did they just message? But it
looks like he was messaging what was like a 13-year-old, and they had a long relationship of like having a not safe for work Discord where he was sharing porn with a number of minors.
It's art.
Having inappropriate conversations with them. He ordered I guess like cartoon child art, ordered that and had that hanging up on the wall in an old Mr. Beast video. And there's even a still of Mr. Beast in the video looking up at like the ghoulish poster with eyes of like, the fuck is that? Like, and this is like an old Mr. Beast video. You can tell just by the frame, the camera quality and everything. So yeah, it seems like this guy was engaged in some not too chill behavior.
First of all, it's gal. Let's get that straight. I've seen you trying to take down Ava. Is it Ava? While I do this bit. Okay. I've seen you trying to take down Ava and diminish her character as a member of the community. Taylor sent me some photos today of Ava's children. Like, what was that about, Taylor? It seems like you might be the one who has an issue. You're sending me pictures of Ava's children. Yeah. Why would you do such a thing? Were you trying to point something out to me, or were you just being weird?
Did that happen?
Yeah. Did you? So there, people have been obviously sharing tons of pictures about this situation.
Oh, and there's a group of you who share these child pictures.
Yeah, it's called twitter.com. And it's a picture of his own son wearing high heels and saying like, he chose to slay this morning. And it's like, what the
Did you guys ever wear high heels as a little kid?
No.
I wanted Spurs so goddamn bad. I still want them. I'm still a little sore.
You've been an adult for 20 years. You can get Spurs.
I don't want to buy them. That's not the point. It's like a woman buying herself. You've been an adult for 20 years. You can't buy yourself flowers, honey. Get out of here. Fuck you. Buy me the Spurs, Daddy.
I'll send you Spurs.
All right, I'm on it.
I'm gonna make a note to send Spurs to your house.
I always wanted them so bad.
Same place the checks go. Tell me, I'll make it happen, baby.
But anywho, this is also taking the world by storm in as big a way as the Dr. Disrespect thing. Because even though it's not obviously Mr. Beast, and Mr. Beast already came out, and I read his paragraph statement where he was like, "Yeah, I fired this person. We're hiring." And I saw people giving Mr. Beast shit that were like,
F word?
"Oh, Mr. Beast said that he's gonna hire a third-party investigator." And it's like, yeah, I get wanting to be real critical and cynical about all these situations, but like, if Mr. Beast would have said, "We've hired a internal investigator," like to do like that would take even more shit. It's like, what do you expect him to do? He has to hire a third-party investigator.
Can you read this, Taylor?
Yeah, I'll read this. This is from Mr. Beast. Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I have been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with Mr. Beast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further action based on their findings. So it seems like he's handled, he seems to have handled it.
You know what he's done here? Read between the lines, Taylor. The next video, he's hired 100 private investigators. The first one to prove pedophilia gets $5 million. and they're all in a parking lot, but they like break and run to their cars as fast as they can because the timer has started.
Hi, YouTube. I put 100 miners on a tropical island with my friend Kris.
I was going the other direction where he hired 100 attorneys to get him off.
I hired 100 of the finest attorneys to get my friend off.
That's
foolish behaviors.
Well, why do people keep fucking around with kids, man? Oh, that's the other thing I want to discuss is the hand-drawn depictions of minors, whether we think that should be legal or not. And I asked that question on WhatsApp to the boys like Tuesday night or maybe even last Thursday night. Nobody replied.
Wait, I didn't reply.
Did you? Was it like one of your 2:15 a.m. messages?
I mean, it could have been a 4:15
where the next
or a
morning
5:15.
I see it and it's like
y'all are.
It's like I can't.
As you know,
as
you know, just as the master did, I sleep 20 minutes every 3 to 4 hours. So I'm up all the time. So I talk with Chiz early mornings and I catch you later mornings and then Woody sometimes in the evenings. But yeah, I wanted your feelings on this one, Taylor. I bet that we split down the middle on this one. Where I feel like you're going to be like, oh, it's disgusting, never, for no reason. But I'm like a free speech absolutist over here.
I am.
The idea.
I'm in between.
It's disgusting and it's gross to do that.
Let me give you a hypothetical.
If you have something like that in your house, the way Kris did, then like, yeah, I'm going to judge you and I'm going to make assumptions about you that will probably, based on this circumstance, end up being true. But you shouldn't make drawing something illegal.
Can I ask, like, just for clarification, the thing that Ava had on their wall, what was it specific? It was something that she'd had commissioned, or was it like printed artwork from?
I think it was like
the line with Japanese anime and Japanese porn is so thin that I don't know where it is.
So from what I can tell, this guy who he was buying pictures from is not like would do stuff like trace actual children and then sterilize them.
I'm gonna need some documentation on that, but that sounds pretty fucking awful.
It sounds pretty despicable, doesn't
Tracing children like I did with my hand to make Thanksgiving things as a child.
He'd hold them down with wax
a whole
paper.
Picture of someone else, like taking a whole picture of someone else's kid and then tracing their outline and then putting them in like ghastly sexual.
I literally thought you were like, okay, hold still.
Like, no, this guy would have been locked up a long time ago if that was his process. But yeah, that seems to be it. It seems to be that this guy like would take an actual picture. Like I saw the Keemstar apparently. Like at some point, this artist traced his daughter, Keemstar's daughter, when she was 8 years old, and then put her in like contexts.
Oh, that's deplorable.
Yeah, it's pretty deplorable, right? And so
and that's why I don't think it should be legal, because like I get what you're saying, Taylor, like, oh, don't make drawing things illegal, but like when have you ever known anybody who draws that type of stuff to not also be like as if that's not bad enough, they're not also doing and saying like other worse shit,
Yeah,
like it's not bad enough you're drawing cartoon children. You're like, oh yes, let's go to Facebook and get my best friend's kids and use them as a template.
Like it's a good weather vein of fucked up behavior. Someone who engages. It's the same. Like if you find a kid that's like killing cats when they're 6 years old, that kid is probably going to end up killing people at some point, just naturally moving along that and being like a 17-year-old who's like, oh man, I'm not getting that high from killing cats anymore. I got to go bigger. I'm going to kill a fucking classmate or whatever.
This is where I wanted to jump in with my thoughts on this. I want to know the science or the surveys, or like, I want an expert to tell me, hey, does, for example, hand-drawn pictures of children give these guys an outlet in a way where there are no living victims, or does it like encourage and grow behavior to the point where there's soon living victims are the next step? Like, tell me which one of these is.
Intuitively, I would believe two, because in other ways, like when you enable or encourage something at a lower level, like a kid killing animals, like they're going to keep accelerating that if they're not pulled out of it, and you'll end up with the worst behavior.
My disagree. Sorry, Kyle. I'll be really fast. There are like adult consensual sex things that lots of people keep in the fantasy world, because the reality of it would complicate their relationships and maybe hurt them or what. Like, it's like, all right, I think this is hot, but this is not something I'd ever want to do in real life. So I take that, and like, could that not apply to these people too?
I don't think I think that like if they're files, like that's not like that's what they are. Like they're not gonna suddenly not be that magically. And so I think it's almost engaging with it.
And there's a lot of leaps here, and then there's two different things we're talking about, right? Because we talked about tracing the kids.
I'll be right there.
We talked about tracing the kids, and there's just a bill going through Congress right now about the AI deepfake porn and criminalizing that. And what you're talking about verges upon that when you're copy pasting a real child's face into a thing. That's a whole different thing. But the idea that I think you're gonna come to my house with guns and take my crayons away because my pictures are too dirty? Is that the law we're talking about? Literally? Like no. I don't think you can tell somebody what they can and cannot draw. Again, if you're duplicating another person and you're harming them publicly with that, that's a whole different crime. It doesn't. It almost. It's completely separate from the sexualization of the minor with fucking drawings. Like, I don't like it. I think it's disgusting. But don't you fucking come in here with guns to take crayons away. Like, that's absurd to me. That I can't. How many? You can't tell me what I can and cannot fucking draw. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm not sold on making what you can draw or what you can write or what you can say illegal, because I agree with you in that. Like, I'm pretty free speech absolutist with things, but you also shouldn't look at it as some innocent thing that people are doing. Like, if someone is doing that and has pictures of minors in their house, like, I think you can reliably make some assumptions about that person.
How many's too many?
Any amount.
One. We're drawing the line at one over here. Okay.
The line at one. We're hard asses. We're real fascists.
Somewhere above one.
I got a little mixed up. 4? I was in my own thoughts. I'm still stuck on this idea. Like, do these images lead to bad behavior or prevent bad behavior?
I don't care.
And I need that data to figure out where I stand.
So two things. One, I think if there was going to be a law, right? Because like I see what you guys are saying, and I like agree. It's just that, like, you know, I'm doing that thing that like every asshole does, and they're like, yeah, but like I don't think this should count. I think it would have to be you prove intent, right? You have to prove intent. There has to be like, oh yes, like this isn't just stylized drawings of adults. This is clearly like what it is, you know.
Here, I got the perfect like analogy or whatever. So let's. I think that having the drawings, having the artwork, whatever you want to call it, that's hand drawn or you know, made with some program or whatever, should be perfectly legal under normal circumstances. However, if you catch who is committed, and they also have real, and in addition to that, they also have this stuff that we're talking about, that's another charge. Then it's just like you could have a bong in your house as a vase. Like, you can't say, I smoke out of it. Well, there was marijuana all around it, and there's a grinder next to that. You're high as fuck right now.
Well, it reeks, and there's like there's one flower clearly torn recently from your yard, thrown hastily into the bong, sir.
Like, I could see you charging that as like I don't know what the
paraphernalia.
A paraphernalia charge was when, in my case, that was one of my funniest charge, right? I had all that scary shit, and then the paraphernalia charge right at the bottom, like a little insult to injury slap in the face. But yeah, man, I just don't like the idea. I'm with you on it's the same thing with the flag burning. Like, man, I hate you fuckers, and I wish somebody gets you, you motherfuckers. I hate you. Like this is where we need those dudes with the tiki torches to show up out of nowhere. You know, like you cheer them on at that point. But and I feel the same way about anybody who's like, what a fucking creep if you're drawing that shit, and what a fucking creep if like that's your thing. I don't know what's what, but I saw something and they were saying that it was one of Ava's messages or one of the edgy jokes that she had made. And it was something about using VR for porn, which is, you know, again, like lolly has always been code. And like, it's a whole category of, man, y'all, those Japanese people, we shouldn't have bombed them twice. We should have just
we messed them up. Yeah.
Two was
That's
one too many. Damn, Japan. That's rough shit. Oh, I was thinking about this yesterday. What does Jerry Seinfeld, Dr. Disrespect, and Taylor Swift all have in common?
Did they all date teenagers?
They all dated teenagers when they were well into adulthood. Yeah, 17-year-olds, in fact.
Who did Taylor Swift date?
Two different 17-year-olds when she was 23 and older.
And Dr. Disrespect, we don't know that child was 17. All we know is they were under 18.
Yeah, that's true. And we don't know that child. I mean, we don't know how many children there were. We don't know anything. It's all ignorance. Woody's just been asking a lot of questions. He turns into Tucker Carlson and when Doc comes up.
We don't know if Dr. Disrespect was on Epstein's plane. I'm just asking.
Woody's just Tucker Carlsoning out.
I'm just asking how many times he was on Epstein's plane. That's my question. That's what
Woody's sitting there like, when did they stop playing games? They used to just play video games. Now they're messaging minors. When did this happen? What did our country become? Like that's video game streamers messaging minors. That's the democratic world for you people. That's what the Democrats want.
And then Jerry Seinfeld, obviously, I think he was 42, 43 when he was dating that 17-year-old.
Dude, if Michael Jackson gets a pass in your eyes for all his wonderful music, then for you to not give a pass to Jerry Seinfeld for one of the funniest shows of all time is indefensible.
Not only do I give him a pass, I don't even think it's worth looking at Jerry Seinfeld's 17-year-old girlfriend, other than to be blown away that that's a 17-year-old. If Zach could pull up a picture of that girl, that is a healthy.
Don't do that.
Kyle, I think that you don't have your thumb on the pulse of the current attitude towards praising children for their hotness.
Well, she's an adult now.
Kyle's like, she's like 20 years older than me. What are you talking about?
No, she doesn't look 17, and she looks like a model. She looks like Brooke Shields or something, or like Jennifer Connelly when she was younger. Like, not.
I saw pictures of her after she turned 18, and Kyle's right. She looked amazing.
Oh, the post 18 pics. I finally saw what Jerry saw. You know,
I mean, it's legal in most states. That's the other thing. You're just split. My whole point with the Jerry Seinfeld Dr. Disrespect Taylor Swift thing is like, which of these is not like the others? One of them is getting canceled. And look, I'm not a Dr. Disrespect defender or anything. I don't know him, and I'm not defending his actions because we don't know what he fucking did. But this guy just kept winning Emmys year after year. He made that B movie. Like, nobody ever gave him shit about this once.
For what it's worth, I think it's legal in California where Dr. Disrespect is, I think.
Could it be because he's an APAC American by any chance?
Ooh. Oh, we don't know if he's taking donors. Is Dr. Disrespect owned by lobbyists? We're just asking questions. That's all we're doing.
We know that he takes in a lot of donations.
I want a map of where the 17-year-old would have been. Everything Doc did would have been legal. I want that map, and I want it globally, because I bet that it's like 80% of the fucking planet what he did was 100% legal. And I bet it's 80% of the country that it would have been legal too.
Dude, I bet there's some countries with like...
Wait a minute, what am I even
absurd age of consent laws. Like, they don't even have
where Doc was?
I looked it up. California is where TwitchCon was, and you can't in there. And I was actually a little surprised. I would have.
Oh,
that's what he's trying to do.
California.
Is that a TwitchCon hard rule, or is that one you can club
it's
a little?
California rule.
Is there
TwitchCon was in California.
Damn liberals.
He was allegedly trying to meet up with this fucker at TwitchCon, and in California, the age of consent is 18 for adults.
I don't think you can prove intent there. I don't think he said, "I'm coming there to penetrate you, my dear."
I think he specified all three holes. As far as if people are saying that, I don't know. I'm asking. We could ask Dr. Disrespect which hole he intended to use.
Guys, he
does have an open invite.
Grab a pen so we can do this while we're just asking questions.
If Doc agrees to come on, we should ambush him with a 17-year-old to like tempt him during the show. A flirtatious 17-year-old.
When if we ever had like Dr. Disrespect on, I'd love for all of us to have like a pen on our face and just kind of gesture at him, be like, and so what you thought, let me get this straight. What you thought is that it was okay.